It is time to buy Final Fantasy singles. Prices have flattened out and the window to grab the best stuff is wide open. The chase cards from the Commander set, the Through the Ages bonus sheet, and the main set all followed the exact same pattern that we've seen so many times before. Spike, slide, settle, gradual growth. That settle into gradual growth is the signal that I look for because sealed boxes only get more expensive from here, and once people stop cracking, singles climb in price. Hey, what's up? I'm Joel. I cover Magic the Gathering news and card prices full-time. Subscribe and I'll keep you ahead of everybody else. In this video, I'm going to show you what the most expensive singles from Final Fantasy are right now, what they're doing, and why they're good buys at this moment. The gaps between tiers of cards that you need to know about, and the timing rules that I use to make pickups during windows like this that you'll be able to apply not only to this set, but any Magic set that you care to. Joel R Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your cards quickly and easily on the internet. TCG Player, the best place to buy them, and where you can buy any of the cards that you see in this video today. Use that link in the description or the pinned comment before you check out, and I'll get a little kickback at no extra cost to you. Dragon Shield, the best way to protect your cards, and Moxfield, the only place to put your deck lists on the internet. Looking at the Final Fantasy Commander set first, code FIC, borderless commanders are sitting at the ceiling, and the spread to the rest of the list is exactly why this window is good. Pull up the Commander Final Fantasy cards on TCG Player and sort by market. You'll see those borderless commander treatments clustered up at the top, while a huge chunk of the rest of the set chills like $5 and less. That gap is the classic post-release shape. High-end stabilizes first, the floor lags, then it follows as sealed supply slows down. The highest cards spike up high, FOMO cuts out, they drop, they slide down, and then they start to slowly retrace, and that is what we look at. Right now, these treatments, the borderless commanders in their pose with the number of the Roman numeral of the game that is behind them, these are as low as they're going to get, in my opinion. These were all collector booster exclusive, non-foil, foil, and surge, and so the only place to get them is becoming increasingly rare to see opened. 3 brand new cards from the Final Fantasy Commander set are leading the pack in value overall. Sphere Grid is the counters engine that unlocks Trample and Reach once you start connecting. The base printing is already showing steady interest, and the extended art holds a premium, which is the pattern I want once cracking cools off. If you're buying one copy for a counters deck, I like grabbing the extended while it's relatively close to the base. Taru is a glue piece card. It hands you a tap treasure on an opponent's draw once per turn, and it comes with a cantrip on entry. The market's modest right now on the base printing, and that's exactly when I like to pick utility cards up. If you want a little extra finish, the extended art puts distance between base and premium as time goes on. Summon Yojimbo cooled off from the first spike, which is perfect now. I don't need fireworks, I just want the combination of flexible protection and removal in white at a fair sticker price. If it dodges a quick reprint and keeps showing up in white lists, this is going to be asymmetric in your favor. The base and the surge foil both look reasonable today. Those are the top of the line brand new cards from the Commander set, but Final Fantasy also brought us 3 reprints that you should be aware of as well. Clever Concealment is exactly that. Phase out your team and avoid the blowout. The Commander Final Fantasy printing is in the mid-single digits right now, and the surge foil sits meaningfully higher. That spread usually widens after supply gets absorbed, which is why I like to pick up today. And Walking Ballista is evergreen, combo, scale, counters, whatever you want to do, it does it. The FIC market for this is near $5 on base, with the surge in the high single digits. If you ever wished you had extras, this is the quiet time to fix that. And don't forget, this copy has balls. Blitz balls. And Reanimate. Reanimate's a staple, and this printing is pricing near other recent versions, which is exactly what I want in a pickup window. It turns into, glad I had these around 6 months, a year later when the faucet slows down on these things. Final Fantasy brought us some new to Magic cards and also brought us some high attention reprints, but there are 3 sleeper reprints in the Commander decks that you shouldn't sleep on, and the main storyline here is Final Fantasy art on under the radar cards that will be seeing play for a really long time. Lightning Greaves has floor pricing on the FIC copy right now, and the surge foil already commands a healthy premium. If you think you'll want Tifa's boots as Lightning Greaves, this is a low stress buy. 3 Visits is the same story, low single digit base, surge again, paying a collector premium. This will go in every green deck forever. Just gotta figure it out if you're square on Enix's art. See what I did there? Sword of the Animist, Billy's personal favorite equipment. Go check out her episodes on Garage the Gathering. This equipment's great in Casual Commander, and the FIC base is low, but historical behavior says it meanders upward when sets stop being cracked or the card goes out of print again. Go look at the base copy from Magic Origins that's been over $10 4 different times through its reprint life. Jump into the Through the Ages bonus sheet. Looking at it months later, you've got 2 absolute leaders, and then you got a big cliff. Stay With Me, which is Rhystic Study, is the non-foil king on the sheet. Market sits right around $99, and that is still premium for non-foil, which tells you how much demand there is for this card in this treatment. Dragon of Mount Gulag, which is Ancient Copper Dragon, follows in the mid-70s market non-foil. Copper is always going to be copper. It sits on red tables, and the Final Fantasy styling has clearly landed with players. The Through the Ages bonus sheet has a band of cards under the top 2 that are between 20 and 40 and are super good pickups right now before we all move on and the prices move up. Atraxa Grand Unifier sits about mid-30s market in the showcase frame. Constant demand, easy trade, easy resale. Ragavan Nimble Pilferer Zidane flavor lives around the low 30s non-foil market and stays on buy lists forever. If you needed the card anyway, the Final Fantasy frame is fun. Akroma's Will, Blessing of the Oracle, is in that same low 30s market band non-foil. This card rarely stays cheap when supply slows down. If your white decks like to end games, this is a really good one to lock in right now. Then there are several others in here. Ranger Captain Aveos, just under mid-20s non-foil, and then Najila, Perforos, and Friends filling out the rest of the tier. The point is the liquid middle is where you can still grab some really sweet stuff before we move on. Now, the Through the Ages bonus sheet was available in play boosters, and so there are affordable copies, but the foils were a little more difficult to come by. Collector booster only, so supply is gated, and the top end looks exactly like you would expect. Rhystic Study foil is the crown, right around the mid 500s market price. It's been inching up, and it is the marquee FF blue staple treatment. Ancient Copper Dragon foil tracks in the low 260s market. When Red Mythic Dragon is the call for a chase card, Copper shows up, and this version hits both collectors and players. Urza Lord High Artificer foil sits a bit under 260 market and has been really sticky. That matches its cross-format gravity with collector appeal. Then you have Atraxa foil near the high 200s, Najila foil around 190, and partner staples like Thrasios and Vile Smasher clearing 100 market foil. This is your serious but still attainable collector tier. And again, these Through the Ages foils were collector booster exclusive, which is part of why the top of the market is so defined for this set. Taking a look at the overall market of singles from the main Final Fantasy set, you've got 2 cards and Vivi up top of the list, and Vivi's on the way down, not up right now. Buster Sword Borderless is right at the top. Market for this card sits around $76 non-foil right now, which is down from early hype, but it is very stable. If you wanted the iconic version without diving into Surge foils, this is the one. Sephiroth Fabled Soldier Borderless is tracking alongside Buster Sword in that low to mid 70s market non-foil area. It's drifted down week over week as the market cools, which is normal for a set to do, but it will start turning up at any point. And then Vivi Borderless is the outlier here. It ran super hot early, then slid as competitive concerns and ban watch chatter hit standard, which has paused buyers and has sent sellers to the market. When there's ban risk in the air, I treat it like a trade, not a hold, until Wizards clears the next announcement window. In the main Final Fantasy set, after the top 3 cards, you have a cluster of iconic borderless shots in that 40 to 50 range. The Sephiroth Pose Borderless sits around low 60s market, which is above the cluster mostly, and then you see Cloud Midgar Mercenary Borderless around the high 40s. After that, you get Traveling Chocobo Borderless in the high 40s and Summon Bahamut Borderless around the mid 40s. Those are the exact frames that catch a second wind once play boosters slow down. So if you want to go deeper for a main set play copy, the regular non-borderless versions on a lot of these sit meaningfully lower, but for long-term desirability, I prefer borderless versions. Just pick according to how you want to buy. Look, if I'm trying to time Final Fantasy singles for purchase, or really any Magic set, there are 3 rules that I follow, simple and boring, which is why they work. Rule 1, watch the slope. I like to see the market chart flatten for 2 to 3 to 4 weeks on MTG stocks or TCG Player before I bounce into top frames or premium foils. You just saw that behavior today on multiple set pages and singles. It reduces the chance you buy into the last leg of a slide. Rule 2 is pick the right variant. Extended and borderless widen the premium after cracking slows. That's why cards like Sphere Grid's Extended trades above base, and why Surge tends to command a durable premium on evergreen staples like Greaves. I call it the parfait. Know what you're after, and that is going to be according to what bracket you want to go. Base copies are at the bottom, premium, Surge foil, crazy collector stuff all at the top. And then rule 3, and this is more recent because of the way that design has been going, but I would respect the meta risk. If there is a card that is warping a format or just sitting squarely in a ban conversation, like Vivi was after release, like Nadu was after release, I treat it as a card with a clock. Unless I need it for a major tournament this weekend, which is a totally different issue, I wouldn't just buy a copy for Commander until that ban window is clear. Go pick through the set and let me know in the comments what cards you are personally buying. Are you finished buying Final Fantasy singles altogether? Can't wait to talk to you about it down below. Thanks for watching this far. If you're still watching, hit that like, subscribe, leave me a comment, do all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!